everyone, Moisa here, back with another video, and today we're doing another makeup look, and this one is red velvet inspired because I really want to do something red velvet inspired because I feel like since they didn't do like a comeback as a group last year, I wanted to sort of like do something for the group because I feel like it's been so long since we've seen them all together. Obviously we did have the Irene and Songi subunit come out, which is great, but I do wish we did get like at least a group comeback. Obviously red velvet stands, you can tell me why that didn't happen down below if you want. But today we're just going to do like a look inspired by the group. I'm going to quickly put some concealer on my lids to see if it will bring out color in this palette, because today we're trying the Decadence palette again and seeing if it's working better than it did before. Alright, cool. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about health fitness. We're going to be using this e.l.f. eyeliner as brow pencil, but I want to talk a little bit about health and fitness because I feel like in the K-pop industry in particular, it's so like stressful in the K-pop industry about health. Like when groups come back and have to do like these crazy diets. I'm also watching YG's Treasure Box right now, and like the process of these people, like for YG they choose based on like visuals, so like they don't even like scout off of talent. And they were like showing some of the artists that he rejected, Chungha being one of them, which shook me because she's beautiful and talented, so rude. But it's so idealistic in these agencies, like you have to look a certain way to just be like given a chance. And I know that's not all companies, that's just like YG's personal stance. And I will say they have some like beautiful idols, but it's kind of just like, it's so weird because I know like that's how the industry works. Like if you're not pretty, you'll probably not make it, but it's also like, what is pretty? Like what do you consider to be stereotypically pretty? And so that leads me to this kind of idea of like the health and fitness in Korea, because I feel like sometimes you have to have very good skin, hence all the skincare ads we see from idols. You have to like be very thin to fit social norms. And even though international fans are like, oh my gosh, why are they making them do a diet? I feel like in Asia it's very like normalized to have that culture, and it's so bad to have like such a normalized like bad culture. Because I know like for me there's like certain standards of me. Like obviously for a African American, I'm not like thin, but I'm also not like considered what fat African Americans are, because it's like the way that I gain weight is I gain weight in a way that proportions my body that looks more like a normal, what is expected of someone of my skin tone. Now we're gonna go into this red because I'm looking at the peekaboo cover for this, and there's red and like neutrals, so I want to like do that on the eye. But in that, I'm kind of just like intrigued on the health and wellness in Asia in comparison to like other communities, because like I know for my own community, there is no right weight. In the African American community, it's more like the way you're built, like your proportions. Like if you don't have like a big, like not a big waist, like a big butt, like a thin waist, it's like it's becoming so normalized. And even just like American culture, where in the past it used to be these very slim, thin bodies that were very desirable, but now it's becoming the typical African American like woman's physique is like more interesting to people. And like all these famous idols who are idols, singers, famous people like Kim Kardashian and things, who are sort of getting their bodies altered in a way to look like that. And it's I don't really get it, because in Asia, from what I've seen, I don't want to like make assumptions on their culture, because I know it's not right to make assumptions on other people's cultures, but this is going to be an assumption, I'm sorry. I feel like over there it's like diet culture is very heavy. I know like some people say that it's also like certain surgeries like eyelid surgery and things like that, whereas here I feel like it's the very enhanced makeup, which right now that we're transitioning from like enhancing your face, changing your face with makeup into something that's more like natural, everyday, glowy, and it's gonna probably change again in like the next 2 years because it's kind of like America doesn't know like what they want. Like other countries probably see us more so like as an obese kind of society because everyone here is like, I think average size for like a female in like, that is supposed, let me say that quickly, that is supposed in America is like a size 8 and up, and then there's obviously like models who are still like a size 2 or less, and then plus size models who are still smaller than the average plus size woman who are like a size 12 or a size 8 in the fashion industry, which the fashion industry in itself, but anyway, in that I want to talk about health and wellness because I personally, like, I am not like the thinnest person out there. I'm not blind, I'm not dumb, thank you. And I know, like, for me it's been so hard to like accept that because it's not really something that I can change. We're gonna go in with this brush and use one of the shades that look white on my skin tone. Let's be real, because this palette, it's like either reds or like white. There's like a few golds, but I don't think I'm gonna use gold on the lid today. But for like people like me, I feel like some people like don't know this about me because I don't like share my health issues on my YouTube or anything like that, but I have like a lot of preconceived health and wellness issues because like obviously there's a lot of health and wellness issues in my mom's side as well as my dad's side, and not like mentally. My family doesn't, as far as I know, have any like mental I don't want to say like disorder, but like mental disorders, whereas like they do have a lot of like health ones. Like some of them have cholesterol and some of them have diabetes, thyroid issues and things like that, and that's sort of just been like all placed into my health. And so like for me growing up, I would always try to lose weight, and I talk about this a lot. Like I don't think I ever had like a disorder with eating, but more so like I would go to school and girls who were probably like a size 6 would be like, oh, I'm so chubby or I'm so big, whereas like I was like a size 10 and I was like, what? And so for me, I just remember like growing up, I was very physique conscious. I'm still very like health physique conscious. Like when the virus hit, I had started going to the gym, and you guys could probably see the shift in my mentality on my channel. I was much happier. I was very happy. I was going to the gym like 4 times a week. I didn't change my eating habits because I don't really eat that much anyway. I have like small breakfast, and then I sometimes cook, but like my food cooking is like meh. It's not as good as my mother's, so I don't really like cooking that much. But I cook like 2 meals a day. Like I cook lunch and then I cook dinner, or sometimes I do takeout for dinner. And so like my eating habits didn't change because I'm not someone who naturally eats like junk food or anything like that. Obviously I do dabble in junk food like everyone else my age, but I don't like overeat, but I kind of undereat, which is not healthy. Like don't undereat, please. I'm just like someone who doesn't eat food. Like I drink a lot of coffee and like bubble tea and stuff like that, but I don't really like eat. And so for me, it's not like, we're gonna try to draw like the red velvet logo on the cheek, but for me it's not something so much as like health that's like, oh, she's like doing unhealthy things in her daily life. It's more like I have a slow metabolism because of my thyroid, and then I have pre-existing like health conditions within my family, and it's just, I think I got it, okay. It's just like hard because in America, or like anyone really, like anyone even internationally seeing this could be like, oh, she doesn't work out or she doesn't do anything to kind of like mind her weight and mind her things. Like I even have like not close family but like extended family who are like, oh, Moisa, you should like lose weight, or you should like try to be healthier, and it's hard to be like, yeah, of course, even though I know, like, in my daily life I'm not. Ooh, that is a fat R. But it's hard because it's kind of like people preconceive my weight to the way that I eat or the way I live my life, whereas I don't really do much in terms of like gaining weight. And so for me, it's like they don't understand, but they're also like technically adults, and I can't just be like, you don't understand. And so, like, it's been sad, but like my mom's been the one who's had to like defend everything, and like it's not nice for her to always have to defend something that she knows that I can't control. And like it's so sad that like that's the society we live in. It's like people just want to make like assumptions on your weight and be like, oh, you're fat because you do this and this and this, whereas like I am someone who's quite physically active. Like I love running. I don't like running outdoors, no offense. I like running on machines. I know that's like sad, but I like running on machines, or I love doing like weights, and like I like to dance even though I can't dance. And it's sad because in today's society, everyone will just be like, oh, she's fat because she overeats, or she does this, or she does that. And all those preconceived notions are probably why there's so many people out there who struggle with weight, because it's always, if it's not an outer body, like a physical, I wouldn't like to say disability, but if it's not something showing physically on you, it's sort of like it's because you're not taking care of yourself. Whereas like someone could be taking the uppermost care of their health, but it's not gonna stop their weight gain, because that's just the way they're built. Like when I am skinny, or I would say when I like start getting to exercise and doing those things more regularly at a gym, it's like, or if I do like a diet and I go back to like a skinnier weight, it's like in the society everyone's always going to be like, oh my gosh, you look so nice. And it's like, did you not look nice before? Like I don't understand like why people can't try to understand other people's issues before sort of judging like their health and wellness, because you don't know what that person could be going through. And so in that, I want to like do like a red velvet thing as I talked about wellness, because I know like there's a lot of idols, but especially like even like Wendy's had to go through so much, like if you look at her every comeback, it's always like a change in her weight, and it's not even just her, it's like so many other idols. And it's sad that like society is very much like, if you aren't either Kim Kardashian, but who's very thin but has a lot of curves, which is sort of where a lot of African American women's sort of physiques form, or if you don't look as thin as like a K-pop idol, or not a runway model, because I feel like nowadays runway models are starting to lose popularity in fashion. Not in fashion, because obviously the fashion industry still idealizes those proportions and things, but I feel like in society people are starting to want more of a natural look. And it's hard because in the industry they're always seeking people who are more thin or very curvaceous and thin, and if you don't fit into those two categories, it's kind of like you look at yourself and you're like, am I attractive, or am I like healthy, or am I like should I be accepted? And then for when people do accept you, I feel like this is me, like if someone does say I'm really pretty, or like does say like I'm not overweight or anything like that, I always think about that statement a little too hard, because I'm not like the typical desirable like female. And like we can even see it on YouTube, like who are the most subscribed to YouTubers? Like, are they someone that is more desirable, or are they someone that like you can idealize for, versus like maybe like a darker skinned overweight YouTuber? Like, would you bring them up to the level that you would bring up a slim, more marketable, desirable person? Like, it's just the way society works. No matter what culture you're from, there's gonna be like a different shape for each country that's desirable and a different weight, but it's always gonna be like out there, because where we are in today's society is very like face value. Like, even when I was talking in the last like makeup video that I did, I talked a lot about how in today's society, if I were to go into a job interview with like a look like this, with my hair down, like nicer than this because it's like super poofy right now. Ugh, hate that. But if I were to go into a job interview somewhere right now, I'd probably get hired more so than if I went with like my natural really curly hair or my hair in braids. And people kind of are assuming like, oh, maybe as like more prejudice age groups and things start to like pass away. That sounds so bad, but like some people are saying like, oh, when they start to pass away, everything's gonna change and get better, whereas I'm in the standpoint of like, it's never going to fully change. Like, maybe you might be more accepting of a skin tone or a hairstyle, but that doesn't mean you're going to suddenly begin to accept all the changes and differences that are like stacked up against certain people. Like, certain people, I can use like Loie Lane, for example. Like, she's supposed to be like a plus size role model, whereas like some people might be like, why would you idolize a plus size role model? And it's like, you, in society, it's like you can't justify it, because there's always going to be a retort. Like, even like me doing a YouTube channel, like I have like very like small group of you all who watch me. It's like, do people understand, or do they want someone to sympathize, or do they want someone to sort of like emulate? Like, for me, like, I'm not like the most plus size, but I'm not like the most thin, and I'm not like the average. And so it's kind of like, for someone who's like me, who's like an in-between plus size normal weight, it's like, am I seen as someone who's healthy, or am I seen as someone for like someone to be like, oh, they're plus size like me and I want to emulate them? And so I don't know where this topic is going. I am doing since you all know I'm starting my new series. I don't know if I started it already. I might have. I am not sure. But I'm doing a whole new series about talking about like weight. Not weight, growing up. It's called my growing up series. I forgot the name already. Wow. So it's called the growing up series, and in the growing up series, I'm gonna have like a whole video about like growing up plus size, and like talking about like the different challenges that I went through, and the different like stages of my life, like accepting and not accepting. And I feel like when I'm at home in particular, or even if I feel like if I'm at home with my family, or if I'm with any group of my friends, my college friends, my high school friends, it does not matter. It's always going to be a more negative aspect of my weight. Whereas if I am like by myself, or I am maybe like with, like if I ever get a significant other in my lifetime, wow. But if I ever get like a significant other, like I feel like I'd be more comfortable with just them and myself, because within different groups, like with my family, with my friends up here, my friends in Florida, I have different personalities that I sort of begin to morph more into. I'm like code switching in a way, and like I know code switching is like meant to be not the most happy word to hear, but it's like the reality of like, as someone who's African American, who's plus size, who's so many different things, I have to like code switch to fit into like even like family situations versus school situations and friend situations. And it's like, for me, the only times I truly feel confident is like, there are times when I'm like at my highest of highs or my lowest of lows. But anyway, that's like a topic we're gonna get really deep into in the growing up series that I'm recording. I have about 7 ideas for episodes, and gets a little bit like popular and you all like hearing me talk and things like that, I'm definitely going to continue that. But I do hope you like this red velvet inspired look. I really like the way the logo turned out in particular. The eye look is like super simple, so I think I can get through a whole day of school without people thinking I'm crazy. I still hate this palette. I think this has become the hated palette now, because I like this one a little bit better because some of the colors show up on me. And then my Digital Future, I love BH, but this ain't it for a black girl. This ain't it, but it's not the worst. And then, so this is the first time I've ever brought this palette back on camera in years. But I have this. I remember I did this for clout, but it's fine. Not clout, but sort of like everyone was buying it. I was like, okay, I'll buy it, and then I hated it. But we're gonna be using it on the channel. I might have to use it like this. Just show the back of it. But yeah, so we will be using this palette. I will try not to show it on camera because I don't support them. And then obviously we have my New View palettes and then my other sort of color story. But I think at the moment, this one's my least favorite just because it's the least pigmented for someone of my skin tone. Whereas everything else, it's like, it looks ashy or shimmery and it doesn't look cute, but it like still shows up. So the next video will be using this palette. So if you don't want to support them, I don't get monetized. I'm not monetized, so don't worry. But like, if you don't want to support even like looking at their palette, don't watch the next makeup video. But yeah, if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will see you all in the next one. I have class in half an hour. I have to record a reaction. I have to record another makeup video. And my roommate moves in at 4 o'clock, so I have a lot to do. So I'm going to make breakfast, go to class, record 3 videos, and then my roommate will move in. Not my roommate, my suite mate, apartment mate. So if you guys like this look, let me know. And if you guys like this new style of like just talking, having like a topic while I do my makeup, let me know because I'm kind of vibing it. Wow, my ears look huge. And these are the earrings Abby gave me. But yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Bye.